Right now we're going to talk about our nonfiction. Now this is what really drew me to Usborne Books and More. I used to teach kindergarten before my children were born, and the first Facebook party I attended, I just kept saying, why have I not heard of these books before? They're amazing. Usborne Books and More has been around for 40 years. Peter Usborne started this company 40 years ago when his wife was pregnant with her first child, and he decided there weren't enough quality children's books out there. So he decided to start his own publishing company. 40 years later, it's still family owned and operated. He runs it along with his now adult daughter. So he really takes seriously the idea that he is educating young people. In fact, part of our mission statement says that the future of our world depends on the education of our children, and I couldn't agree more. I think it's so amazing to be a small part of that. So like I said, he really takes seriously the idea that he is educating young people, and he does not want to talk down to children, and he really wants children to be excited about learning. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first one I want to show you is from our very first questions and answers series. This is what are germs? We also have what is sleep? Why do I need to brush my teeth? What is poop is another one. So this one talks about, I like that it talks about what are germs, what's the differences between viruses and bacteria. It talks about where do germs live, how do germs spread, how does your body fight germs, and then what else we can do to sort of stay healthy. So that's what are germs. The next one I want to show you is from our Look Inside series. Now we have many in this series. We have Look Inside Your Body, we have I got them right here. Let's see. Look inside how things work. Look inside construction sites. So lots of different ones. Look inside wild weather is fantastic. My 7-year-old loves weather right now. He's really interested. So this just talks about like all the different types of weather, lightning and thunderstorms. It talks about what it would be like to be inside of a tornado, like what's going on inside of a tornado. Again, a nice lift the flat book so children can actively engage with their story. The next one I want to show you is leave it to Usborne Books and More to deal with even the hardest of topics. For years, people have been asking them to write a book about dying and death. And so they've finally done that. So it's first questions and answers. Why do things die? I mean, it's a part of life, right? And it's something that we'll all experience. It's wonderful to have a book that answers these questions for young children. So it talks about how dying is a part of life. It's a natural pattern. Is it okay to talk about dying? What happens when someone dies? Can I shout and cry and hide away? How do I deal with those emotions? Is it okay to feel this way? Will I ever feel happy again? That kind of thing. So it's a wonderful book on a very difficult topic sometimes for children and adults. The next one I want to show you is from our math series. I love our math books, and sometimes they're such hidden gems, but they're wonderful. So this is Lift the Flat, Multiplying and Dividing. I had a mom reach out to me, this was several months ago. Her daughters were so frustrated with this math program they had to do for school. It's really fast, and so they were actually in tears. And she goes, I told them, turn it off. We're just going to look at these books instead. And they were so happy just looking at these Lift the Flat math books. So this one is about multiplying and dividing. We also have addition, we have numbers, we have fractions and decimals. So this is awesome because studies have shown that children retain more information from a flap book as opposed to a flat one. So just like what I was saying before about puzzles, when you spend more time looking at something and interacting with something, you're going to remember it a lot better. So this is a fantastic book and a fantastic series about different math concepts. The next one I'm going to show you, this is one of my favorite hidden gems, Art Treasury. So this one talks about, every page will feature a different artist. So for example, here we have Vincent van Gogh. And there's the Starry Night, and it talks about him as an artist and a little bit about the painting. And then you flip to the next page, and it has step-by-step information on how to create your own piece of art. And I love the diversity in here. I think there's so many different types of art from so many different areas. Like, for example, one time I made with the kids African masks here. So it talks about the significance of African masks. And then we made our own African masks. So many different ideas. And I love that it talks about the artist and then gives you an opportunity to make your own work of art. The next one I want to show you is about helping our planet. So this is Lift the Flap, looking after our planet. So this one talks about some of the challenges that we are facing and the way that we are dealing with the environment and that kind of thing, and then some things that we can all do to help. So it talks about plants and animals and our water and growing food and how that can sometimes be harmful to our planet, and things that we can do to help our planet as well. So lots of different great ideas in there, and another, there's the action plan, another great Lift the Flag book. This is for older kids. This is Helping Our Planet. So again, lots of great information in here, practical ways for children on how they can help the planet. The next one I want to show you is from our, we have some great thesauruses. This is the first illustrated thesaurus, and we have several others as well. What I like so much about this book is I feel like it's really hard for children to write and then also try and think of not using the same word over and over again. The way this is laid out is fantastic, and our other thesauruses are wonderful as well. So for example, so feeling sick, I've got and so then it has ideas for you: a bruise, a cut, a headache. We need to take care of Jess. So what are some other words for that? Care for, cure, look after, nurse. Movies and TVs. Movies can be exciting, action-packed, fast-moving. So it's so great that a child can have an idea in their head, but they need to kind of expand on their vocabulary, right? So they can go here, and it's so inviting and easy to use, and they're going to feel a lot better when they have to sit down and write their own stories. The next one I want to show you is our Amazing Women, 100 Lives to Inspire You. So this one has so many different amazing, inspiring women in here. Ones that you have probably heard of, like Helen Keller and Rosa Parks, and ones that perhaps you didn't know anything about. In fact, my son pulled this book out for me, and he asked me to read him he just flipped it open and found somebody that he thought looked interesting. I didn't realize there's a woman, I'm trying to find her now, but she saved, during World War II, she saved more Jewish people than Schindler did. And I had never even heard of her. So I just think that this is an amazing book about women, and there's some women in there that perhaps you might think, wow, I didn't expect her to be in there, like Lady Gaga's in here. And that makes for interesting topics too, like, why is she so amazing? Maybe we don't agree. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I'm not picking on Lady Gaga, but just as an example, it's a great conversation starter as well. So there's Amazing Women. The next one I want to show you, I love our resource books. We have so many fantastic encyclopedias. So here's the Children's Encyclopedia, meant for ages 6 and up. Now my son especially, well, all three of my kids, they love to flip through this book, but my middle son in particular loves it. So it talks about weather and animals and different areas of the world. And one time I was doing a volcano, like we were building a volcano, so trying to look for the page, and I was looking, and he goes, it's page 22. And I said, and sure enough, it was. And I said, how'd you know that? And he goes, it's my favorite page. So he loves this book. But it also has QR codes, so you can scan them if you want, and then watch videos on, bees and how they create their own hives, and just how volcanoes erupt and that kind of thing. So that's our Children's Encyclopedia. We also have a set for older kids. This one is Geography Encyclopedia. We also have World History, and then there's one other in this set as well. But look at these beautiful photographs. One of the things Usborne Books and More is known for is their chunks of information. So instead of having these big, overwhelming columns of text, they really break it up with a lot of photographs and pictures and that kind of thing. It really makes it a lot more inviting to children. So that's our Geography Encyclopedia. The next one I want to show you is our 100 Things to Know series. Now this series, we have a lot. We have history, we have space, we have food, we have computers and coding. So this book is cool. I like it because you can flip it open to any page and just read one page and be done if you want to. So this one talks about outer space. And there's so many fun stories in there that I had no idea. Like when the first astronauts landed on the moon, when they came back, they had to be quarantined for, I think it was 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Because they were worried. They thought, what if there's some terrible, devastating bacteria on the moon that infects everybody? So they were quarantined for 3 weeks, so completely sealed, right? Buzz Aldrin noticed a trail of ants going in and out. He was like, this isn't sealed properly, but he didn't say anything until years later, and thankfully it didn't matter. But one of those things, like, these are awesome stories that are, you don't learn about in school, I feel like. So that's our 100 Things to Know series. And the last one I want to show you is our My first reading library. This is a really nice one. It comes with 50 paperback books, and it's so fantastic for if your child is learning to read. Great for, I would say, kindergarten and first grade. It starts out very simple. They're dual readers. So, for example, the parent reads this part, and then the child reads this part, tap, tap, tap. And then as they get higher up, it gets more and more complex until finally they're reading on their own. What's so awesome about our dual readers is that the stories are fun because the parent's reading it too. So they're not limited by the child's vocabulary. So this is a great one. And then what I also like, I'll give you an example of some of the higher ones. So this would be an example of what a child was reading on their own right there. And then at the end of all of them, which my son loved, they have puzzles. So for comprehension, also like notice the difference between two pictures, that kind of thing. Like I said, there's 50 in this series, and it breaks down to just $1.60 per book. So an awesome deal as well. Thanks for watching, everybody.